Start.
Okay, so hello students, once again welcome back. In our last video, we have discussed our first chapter, measurement and experimentation. This chapter is classified into various units. In unit 1, we have discussed the common topics like what is measurement, the component of measurements, importance of measurement in physics. Then for measuring, we came to know that the two components of measurement are magnitude and unit. So the units are known as the standard quantities which are used for comparing an unknown quantity, and then we have discussed how we have classified the fundamental units and derived units. Then we have also learned what should be the characteristic must be possessed by the standard units. Then we have also learned the rules, the guidelines for writing the various form of units. So now in continuation here, we are going to learn some more terms which are related to measurement or some different ways of measurement. The first, next is estimation. Estimation by order of magnitude. So see here, this is the sentence estimation by order of magnitude. Now it is a combination of two terms. If you see, one is estimation and one is order of magnitude. So here estimation, I hope all of you are familiar. In previous classes we have already learned. It is also a way of measuring any quantity. So basically, what is estimation? Estimation is the quick judgment about the quantity of any substance. Like, suppose if you enter a classroom and you are asked how many students are there, and then you look inside the classroom, and by looking you just say that around 50. So this term around 50 or approximately this much, it means your measurement is not accurate. It does not give the exact value, but it is somewhere near to the exact value. So this method is called what? Estimation. From estimation, we used to have an idea about the quantity of any substance, about the size of any substance, but we are not sure that it is exactly the correct measurement. But sometimes it is required whenever you have to make, as I have said, a quick judgment. For example, when our mothers in the kitchen, they prepare a tea, they are cooking something, they are not going to measure the amount of quantity of salt to be added in cooking a vegetable, or the quantity of sugar to be added while preparing a tea. So there they go for estimation. So their estimation is having no problem. But every time estimation is not reliable. For example, if you go to get a shirt stitched by a tailor, and if the tailor estimates your body size and stitch a shirt, you can imagine what will happen. Either it is going to be very loose or it is going to be very tight. So estimation is not a reliable method, already we have discussed. But here sometimes we need to estimate in understanding the size or the quantity of any substance. So estimation is just a quick judgment about the quantity of any substance, and it just gives us an idea about it. It gives an approximate value. Now order of magnitude. So what is order of magnitude? So as we have learned that we have defined different fundamental units for measuring any quantity. But is it like that we can use the same units to measure the different things everywhere? I don't think so. Let us take an example. If you have to answer what is the diameter of a sun, the diameter of a sun is equal to 139000000 meter. Can you see the value? Now if you have to remember this value, or you have to answer, or if you have to tell this particular diameter, is it easy for us? No, not at all. Similarly, if I ask you what is the size of an atom, which is equal to 0.000 like you can see, I have to look for the correct value. So you can see here, if you observe, then you find a difference between the two values. Diameter of the sun is extremely large. Size of an atom very small. Now in both the cases, it is very difficult to remember the values or make other person to understand the things immediately. So what our scientists have done? They have introduced a new method of representing a measurement which is either very large or it is very small. So that method includes what? It is the representation of that method is just simple. A product of a number which lies between 1 and 10 multiplied by power of 10. For example, it is like this: a into b, 10 raised to the power b. So this is the method introduced by our scientists for representing any measured value which is either very large or it is very small. Now here a is what? The value of a must lie between greater than or equal to 1 or less than 10. And this method is followed everywhere in every subject. Second one, this exponential part 10 raised to the power b, this is only called order of magnitude. So from this exponential part, if you do the estimation, you can have a rough idea about the size of any particular object. Like here, if I represent this diameter of sun in terms of the method introduced by the scientist, it can be written as 1.3 into 10 raised to the power 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1.3 into 10 raised to the power 9 meters. Similarly, size of an atom, it can be written as 1.06 into 10 raised to the power minus 10 meters. So now it is very easy. If somebody asks you what is the size of, what is the diameter of a sun, easily you can answer. It is somewhere around 10 raised to the power minus 9 times of a meter. Similarly, what is the size of an atom? It is of the size of 10 raised to the power minus 10 times of a meter. So from here, we got an idea about the size of anything immediately. And a person can imagine what could be the possible size. Instead of learning and learning such a large value or such a small value exactly. So this is what basically called estimation by order of magnitude. And basically in science we have found many times many measured values are either very large or very small. Then there we can use this method of representing them. Like light year. You remember, then you can see it is written 9.46 into 10 raised to the power 12 kilometers. So you can see wherever we have seen any measurement which is written in this format, you see the value of a is always either greater than or equal to 1 and it is less than 10. It is always greater than or equal to 1 and it is less than 10. So this is called what? Estimation by order of magnitude. Now next topic is degree of accuracy. Now what is degree of accuracy? So basically accuracy stands for, accuracy is anything which is perfect, accurate. There is no possibility of error in that. So in degree, by degree of accuracy in physics actually, since we are doing the measurement, we mean that up to what extent we can do any measurement correctly, that is represented in terms of degree of accuracy. For example, if you take a meter scale, now we know that a meter scale is just divided into 100 parts equal to 1 centimeter, and then each 1 centimeter is divided into 10 equal parts equal to 1 millimeter. So by using this scale, what maximum you can do? You can measure a length of 1 millimeter or 0.1 centimeter accurately. So this is called what? Degree of accuracy. Up to what extent you can do any measurement accurately, that is represented in terms of degree of accuracy. Next term related to the same topic is percentage error. Definitely, whenever any instrument is designed or any measurement is done, there is always a possibility of error, and we always calculate that possibility of error also. You might see in mathematical equipments also, when we use an instrument for measuring blood pressure or something, on the instrument is mentioned that the measurement inputs plus minus this much percent. It means it is possible that there is some chances of error. So the percentage error, it is defined as the ratio between absolute error to actual value multiplied by. Now, what is absolute error here? The absolute error is defined as the difference between the measured value to the actual value. The absolute error is defined as the difference between the measured value to actual value. For example, suppose in a lab you are doing an experiment of simple quantum and you are going to measure the value of acceleration due to gravity, and the experimental value is coming g is equal to 9.85 meter per second square, and the actual value is 9.81 meter per second square. Then in this condition, your percentage error is 9.85 minus 9.81 upon 9.81 multiplied by 100. This is what called percentage error and how to calculate a percentage error. Then our next one is effect of combining errors. What is the effect of combining errors? See, the concept of effect of combining error exists whenever you are doing a measurement, and which includes many different types of individual measurements and then their combination. So basically the combination can be any one of the possible mathematical basic operation like addition, subtraction, multiplication or division. So this is basically classified into two types. Effect of combining error, the first one is on addition and subtraction. So when number of values are either added or subtracted, then the accuracy of the result cannot be more than the accuracy of the individual least measure. Whenever there is a measurement, individual measurement whose accuracy is least, and then other measurements are also there whose accuracy is more than them. But if all are added together, then the accuracy of the result will be always somewhere near to the accuracy of the individual least accurate measurement. For example, suppose you have made three different types of measurement of length and you are getting 5.23, 6.1 and then you are getting 18.235. So you can see here the accuracy, the degree of accuracy depends upon the number of significant figures present in a measurement. So by this we can see here that 6.1 is having the least accuracy and 18.235 is having the maximum accuracy. So if you add them, then you will get a result 5.23, 6.1, 18.235. Answer is 5, 6, So answer is 29.565. But the accuracy of this result, or if you write the answer like this, then it is wrong. So the perfect answer will be 29.5. So your result will be expressed in terms of degree of accuracy, in terms of the least accurate individual measurement. So this is what the effect of combining errors when number of individual values are either added or they are subtracted. Last one is on multiplication and division. So when number of individual values are either multiplied or they are divided, then the accuracy of the result is the sum of the percentage error of individual measurement. The accuracy of the result is equal to the sum of the percentage error of individual measurement. For example, if length of any rectangular field is 100 meter plus minus 0.5%, breadth is equal to 50 meter plus minus 0.5%. Then if you are going to calculate the area, then area is equal to length into breadth. Then the possibility of error in the result, that is the multiplication of length and breadth to calculate the area, it will be equal to plus minus 0.1%. It will be equal to plus minus, it will be equal to 1%. So this is what the effect of combining errors when number of individual values are either multiplied or they are divided. So this is all about the effect of combining errors. So up till now we have discussed, once again we can have a recap, that in this chapter measurement we have learned and we have discussed what is measurement, importance of measurement, then component of measurement, need for the standardization of units. Then we have also learned today that estimation by order of magnitude, what do you understand by order of magnitude. Then we have learned about degree of accuracy, percentage error, then effect of combining error in terms of addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So here I want to share all of you my WhatsApp